Hello everyone. Welcome to the EBM Scholars here. Before I continue, I would like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That means we are clear this together and you're going to be able to continue. Today, I'm going to answer one interesting, very good question from someone. It has been asked in our groups we have our WhatsApp groups for the V Lottery winners. The question is, will the visa bulletin be updated during this time of the suspension? That is a very tough question, but I want to make sure that we understand what is the visa bulletin in a very high level and how do they update that. Okay, couple things we need to know. The visa bulletin is keeping updates of so many visas to be available at a certain type of the month and the upcoming month, people to be ready to go and do the interviews. But majority of people who are the V Lottery winners usually think that when we talk about visa bulletin, we are talking about only the V Lottery visa bulletin. No, the visa bulletin covers other aspects. Why do they even have the visa bulletin in the first place? The reason being, there are certain type of visas have a maximum number of visas to be issued in that year. For instance, when we are talking about the visas for green card lottery winners, we know for sure maximum number of visas to be issued for the main applicants, not the derivatives, not the dependents, is 55,000 visas. So the visa bulletin will be updating the month of October, month of November, December, January, February. Who are we interviewing? Because they cannot just say, okay, all 55,000 go right now to the visa, to the embassy, and we just start rushing. So they don't want to give the bigger, complicated way at the embassies to do that job. So they operated that from US. They schedule the interview in the country you want to do. Then they give you go ahead to your visa is ready to go to the interview on this date. So that is something. So this one is a procedure to determine dates where the consular officers are required to report to the Department of State for the qualified applicants based on the numerical limited visas. So there is a limitation number of visas which are supposed to be done that way. So for that case, there are family sponsored preferences visas. So for instance, there is a category, for instance, if there's, for instance, the permanent resident. If you're a permanent resident and you're going to sponsor your children or your spouses or your so if your permanent resident is going to sponsor those kind of people, basically there is a number, maximum number. The maximum number is 114,200 whatever visas worldwide, but the level can exceed whatever up to 226. So that is, there is a maximum number of visas. So that's why they have to, that's when you apply, there is a waiting time when you will be able to do that. Then there is, for instance, there is unmarried sons and daughters of, so there is different categories. There is married sons and daughters of US citizens. The maximum number is 23,400 visas. Then there is, so there are all those categories. There is a family category. They will tell you what categories are going to file at that time. Then there is employment-based preferences. They tell you the maximum number of priority workers is 28.6%. Second category is members of professional, whatever. So there are all those kind of visas they are going to give that one. Then there is the famous V Lottery visa aspect. So what they do, they say, for instance, in Africa, this month they are going to do maybe up to 10,000. Exception maybe usually is in Egypt. Asia, this one exception usually is in Nepal. Excuse me. Then North America, Oceania, South America, and the Caribbean. So, will the overall bulletin be updated? Yes, the bulletin will be updated each month as normal. But obviously, from the month of June, the visa bulletin usually it says current until September. That's usually each year they do the same thing. So even if you go now, for the visa lottery to say current, so don't get it, oh, the visa is current, now I'm going to the US Embassy to do interview. No, even if you go, you will be denied the visa, basically, because of the suspension. So the visa bulletin will be updated, because there will be other visa interviews has to continue. Family-based interviews will continue to be there. So the bulletin will be able to be updated. So for instance, right now, if I'm opening the visa bulletin for July, it says the visa bulletin for July, the immigrant, it says for July and August, the visa will be current. But it doesn't mean that you will go to the visa interview because of the suspension. So the answer, to make it in a very simple way, yes, they'll continue to update this one. But there'll be a tricky part, which we do not know yet. They haven't said that. For the October, which we'll know much in September, will they give the V numbers like, okay, October, these are the numbers we are processing? Like, but they're not going to issue the visa interview date, but we know for sure these are the numbers we're going to do. Like, Imaginary will be doing the interview, so that if you are in the US, you can continue to do adjustment of status, and then November they'll be able to do that, and December will be able to do that. But for all those people, for the first 3 months, they will be able to go to do the interview in January. That is what I'm expecting they'll be able to do that way. So if they are going to update the visa bulletin for the V lottery, and they say they're interviewing this time for this month to this, for this number to this number, 5,000 people, don't show up to the visa interview. Because if you go to the visa interview, they will deny you the visa because there will be suspension. So you need to wait until the suspension ends in order to go to the visa interview. So that is a quick video, just to make sure that you understand that we answer, will the visa bulletin be updated during the suspension? So I'm sure I've been able to clear that question. If you have any other concern about that, let me know, and I'll be happy to respond to this one.